What I want to explain to you now is which part of society will benefit from AI the most. In order for you to understand that, you have to know what are the two ways you can create an income. The first way is through time and labor. You can do something, so you offer your labor and your time, and someone, usually a business owner or the state, pays you for that. The second way is through being an owner of something. It might be capital, so that allows you to invest in a business, or it might be real estate, which pays you rent. Here, your labor and your time are not needed in order for you to make an income. You own assets and they pay you for owning them. Okay, so having learned all of the things about AI this far in the video, can you guess which of the two ways will be affected by artificial intelligence? If you guess the first, you are correct. If a robot can lift boxes and put them on a shelf, or write programming code, or even paint pictures, then obviously the workers who have been doing these things up until now have to compete with it in order to keep their jobs in the businesses in which they work. And as we saw from the numerous examples, just like no one can ever beat Google's AlphaGo Zero in the Go game, I really doubt that a translator or a designer will be able to compete with AI in 5 years. Now, knowing that, who will benefit from it? The owners of assets. They will be able to harness the power of AI, replace jobs, lower their expenses, and make even more money. Think about it. If you own a factory and you make $10 million a year in gross profit, which means the money from the sales of the products minus their cost to produce them, you have 100 low-skilled workers, each costing you $40,000 a year, 5 accountants and 5 lawyers costing you $80,000 a year. What is the math? 10 million minus 4 million salaries for the workers and 800,000 for the lawyers and accountants equals $5 million and $200,000 yearly profit for you as the owner. Okay, let's eliminate 98 of the workers and 8 of the lawyers and accountants because you have implemented AI. Now you have 10 million minus 2 workers costing you 80,000, 1 lawyer and 1 accountant costing you 160,000, which equals $9,760,000. Subtract from that whatever the AI that runs most of the stuff costs you, which in time will basically be equal to the cost of electricity plus some fee or initial one-time setup cost. And you can see how the profit for the owner goes through the roof. And bear in mind, the AI works 24/7. It doesn't complain, it doesn't get sick, and it doesn't leave 1 hour earlier because its child is not feeling okay and she has to go to pick it up from the school. Yes, I know it's brutal, but I'm here to bring you the truth, not be nice to you. In our example now, instead of an owner, 100 low-skilled workers and 8 lawyers and accountants, we have an owner, 2 workers and 2 lawyers and accountants, all heavily using AI and robots able to produce the same amount of goods. Remember, you won't be replaced by AI. You will be replaced by a human using AI. This, my friends, is the classic example of the rich getting richer. Only now, it will be on steroids. If history is any guide, this is exactly how it will play out. People often forget that the Industrial Revolution brought us the modern world and raised the standards of living for everyone. But in the initial parts of it, life for the average person was hell. People were ripped out of their villages, where they were able to set their own work schedule and work surrounded by their friends and families whom they've known their whole life. And they were put into overcrowded ghettos with no sanitation and working in crowded factories with dangerous machines with little to no regulation, often 6 days a week up to 14 hours a day. On top of that, they were still barely able to pay rent, and sometimes even if the children were working, they couldn't pay for food. Sure, the Industrial Revolution brought medicine and ovens and fridges and eventually computers, but it took many decades before the benefits could be felt by the average person. This grinding poverty, poor working conditions, and overcrowded slums, combined with a few people who owned all the factories and the machines getting ridiculously rich, was the breeding ground out of which communism arose in the 19th century. My fear is that even though eventually AI will create wonders for the human race, we're about to go through an equally frightening period. On a statistical basis, just like during the Industrial Revolution, the GDP might be rising because the productivity has skyrocketed, but the benefits will be extremely unevenly distributed and the majority of people will be left behind. This video is a small part of my deep dive I did on how to prepare for AI and what it means for our jobs and for investing in general. It is one of the most important videos I have created and will probably ever create, and will teach you my whole framework and philosophy about what changes I think AI will bring us in terms of the labor market and the economy, and most importantly, how to prepare and profit from them. So click on the video that should appear on your screen right now, or go in the description and get educated on what is coming next.